Hello and welcome along to another episode of this FM22 story, The Head Coach, with me, Daniel. We're back today to finish Season 7 at our first Premier League club, Crystal Palace. And my word, look at what's happened. We have somehow got ourselves into a battle for the last European place. Because against the smaller sides in the league, we found form again. Tyrese Campbell's found the goals and we found our clean sheets. And West Ham are bottling it. They're away to Chelsea on the final day. We're away to Moneybags Newcastle. And basically, whoever gets the better result takes all. So if you're looking forward to seeing if we can complete the most remarkable of comebacks and see our first European game on the channel since being at Kef and Druids, please do put a thumbs up on the video. Subscribe down below for daily FM22 content from two long-term stories. We're back tomorrow with Hemel Hempstead Town. It's transfer deadline day in that one there, and we had our transfer special yesterday for the summer window, which you can see in the eye above. But thank you again for your incredible support. It really does mean a lot. You can find anything you've missed up in the eye above, the Twitch channel and the football podcast too. But let's get cracking by having a look at the last results, because it has been ridiculous. We actually started after the last episode with back-to-back wins, including a 5-0 drubbing at Spurs, 2 goals from Harry Kane, 3 goals from Dominic Calvert-Lewin. Probably gives you a bit of an idea how much the other sides have tripped up. When is the last time a team got to Europe in the Premier League on 55 points? I'd love to know that, through qualifying in their league position. Must have been a long time ago. We backed it up with a 2-1 defeat at Chelsea, a much better performance but not quite the result we were looking for. We did though then win 3-0 against Villa. It was a brilliant performance against a side that beat us, don't forget, just after we came into the club. In fact, inflicted our first defeat as manager back in November. But Mepham, Tyrese Campbell from the spot and Selly and Boyat popping up with their goals. And to be honest, as simple as it sounds, that has been the difference. Selly and Boyat has stayed fit. Abdul Qadir has stayed fit, and Diego Lainez has stayed fit. We've only been playing one game a week. And our squad, I've got to say this, I don't think on paper it's that strong, but whenever we've been playing one game a week, we've looked really good against anyone other than the top 5 or 6. It's only really when we've had to play 2 or 3 games in a week, where we had the festive period, etc., that we've ended up having a really poor performance. So that's got to be a positive. We backed up the Villa win with a Sheffield United one, Abdul Qadir with the brace there. It was the same score against Brentford the week after. Only one of the goals though went to the right winger. Santiago Saceres got the other. And then a 3-2 victory away at Southampton. It was made to look close by a late consolation, but we dominated. Tyrese Campbell got 2, Selly and Boyer got 1. And the stars were on the show. The only issue we've got today is Kenny Tete picked up a knock. I don't think he's fully fit for this game. But we take the position we're in. It's a wonderful effort from these lads. And I know there's been speculation virtually after every game about Selly and Boyer. I'd imagine someone's going to release that clause in the summer. But we've got to make the most of the fact that we have got a real opportunity. And it could be a career-changing and a save-defining moment if we're able to get out on top of West Ham here today. Let's have a look at how they've been doing in their recent fixtures. Because I'm not sure how they've fallen away so much. Oh, wow. Well, there you go. If you thought it was we were doing too much right, that tells you everything. They've had a difficult finish to the season, but they've lost at home to Villa. They've lost at home to Everton. They've lost at home to Wolves, sides that we've played that aren't hugely strong. They drew against City, remarkably, which was their last league point, but 4 straight defeats. And now they've got to do a job away to Chelsea, which I don't think they're going to be able to do. The question is, can we get anything against Newcastle, another side that have mightily fallen away? They've won 1 league game since mid-January, and that ironically was against West Ham. So that tells you everything in terms of the Premier League this year. It's unpredictable. Apart from City winning it, there is an awful lot to be played for. Chelsea are wrapped up in second, so maybe they're resting people. Are they in any other cup finals or anything? Yes, they are. They're in an FA Cup final next Saturday, so maybe they'll just be resting a few stars. But for us, it's a real opportunity. We came in with this club on 1 point. And as I've said on many occasions, it is the first time I've not really been able to explain what's happening. Because with Bristol City, we had a brilliant strike force. We were always going to turn it around. This one's just been bizarre. I mean, if you look at it, we've not really drawn any games. And maybe that's been the blessing, is we've either won by a few or lost by a few. And yes, that's why the goal difference is poor by comparison, but It's certainly given us a real opportunity, and you can see how tight that middle of the league is. It's just that us and West Ham have picked up a couple more wins. So let's go and have a look at what we're going to do today. The dynamics are looking fantastic. Everyone's pretty cool. But Kenny Tete is not fit, I don't think. Let's see what position he's in. We haven't really got a backup right back, don't forget, because Glenn Fitzgerald was loaned out on deadline date by Dougie Freedman, who still hasn't got a new deal, incidentally. What are we going to do? We have got no Kenny Tete. So I either have to bring in someone poor at right back, or I have to put Tormaina out and cope with a 5'9" centre-half who's not played a lot of football. It's a really difficult decision. Who's their centre-forward? Yusuf Poulsen. He is tall, 6'4". Oh, it just doesn't bode well, does it? If there was one position we didn't want an injury, it was probably this one. So I'm going to put Rankin Costello on the bench just in case, I think, and then play. Do you know, I might play him right back. I know it's really stupid, but I really feel Eddie Segura's a liability. I know his jumping reach is alright, but still, I'm going to do it. And I know it's stupid, and I know that he's by far worse than Eddie Segura, who has done a decent job in his whole career as a centre-half. But I'm going to stick with Joe Rankin Costello playing at right back, just so we can keep the two centre-halves together, who have been excellent. That means our team for today will largely stay the same as the last game, but we will bring in, for his first appearance, I think, since we were here. He played one FA Cup game. He has not played a minute in the league since I joined the club. This reminds me of like Per Mertesacker in that Arsenal FA Cup final against Chelsea a few years back. Rankin Costello to the rescue. He's going to score a 90th minute winner. Grabara's in goal though. Rankin Costello is in at right back with Tyrick Mitchell on the left. Mepham and Tormain at the centre halves. Tahar, Boyer, Sassarès the midfield three. Abdulkadir, Lanes and Tyrese Campbell the front three. The likes of Tipple, Morcio, Sliz and Dombele and Krastrovi going forward as subs. We've even got defensive ones in Eddie Segura and Teo if they're needed. Let's go and get into it. It is a crucial game, and it will define how happy we are in the end of season review. Regardless, it's been a brilliant half season, and it's going to be very hard to replicate next year. But if we could finish it with a little bit of European football, even a Europa Conference qualifier, it might be one of the greatest achievements of this save, and certainly an unexpected one with Crystal Palace. Let's go and get into the final game, and hope we don't regret picking that man at right back. Well, I don't know how this Newcastle team are 14th. I know they've sacked a manager, they've had a difficult half a season, but they were in the top 6 mix when we last played them, and we just snuck a victory there at home. That was the Christmas episode, wasn't it, when we had no goalkeepers? They've got Onana in goal, they've got Ezri Konsa, Diogo Dalot, Billy Gilmore, Jared Bowen, Yusuf Poulsen, David Turnbull. The bench includes Tagliafico, Mateo Kovacic is there. It's a ridiculous squad. It certainly shouldn't be half the league down from us. But we've got an opportunity, and confidence can be a massive thing. And even if we lose this by a goal or two, if West Ham get beat 4 or 5, we will get 7th place. So we need to keep an eye on the other fixtures and just hope Chelsea are an absolute battering ram today. Back for a Newcastle corner kick into the back post. Tormaina heads it away. Balls for Solomon left side of the box though. No pressure on him. Turnbull puts it in. It will count. I'm pretty sure it was onside. It was horrendous defending. I don't know who was marking him. I dread to go back and look in case it was the right back. The goal is awarded and we are bottling it. And I know it sounds really weird because we shouldn't expect to be here. But on the final day of the season, realisation is going to hit us. And don't forget, Mepham is wanted and a top-class centre-half as Gerson's in for 2. Oh dear. It's all over at the wrong time. We're going to berate the lads. There's no surprise that both goals have come down that left channel. And Rankin Costello has got the worst rating on the pitch. West Ham are winning at Chelsea anyway. Can we get one back? We can't. Sassarès in. We have. How on earth did that go in? It was a dribbled header from the edge of the box. And it goes into the corner. It can't have been offside. You're not telling me there was someone in the keeper's way. Oh my word. Campbell is offside. Right, I've got to see this. Sorry. Corner's in. So Campbell's here. Next to Gilmore. You're not saying he's in the keeper's line. That's pathetic. Oh, we had that once in the live stream save, but the ridiculous decision there. No way did he interfere with that. It went right in the corner. The keeper was nowhere to be seen. And Onana's got away with one. It looks like the VAR officials don't want little Crystal Palace to succeed. At the start of the season, we would have been delighted for 8th. If you'd have offered us 8th place and not the plate, we'd have taken it. Now we might be disappointed by it because it became so close. We did too well, and now it's become a hope. A realistic hope. But it's not going to happen now, is it? West Ham winning at Chelsea, who obviously are resting players for the cup final. We're going to get right into these lads. Not had to do that many times since we've been here. And in fact, I'm going to make the change I should have at the start, which is Tomena to right back, Segura centre half. And we'll also keep an eye on Sassores, who's unmotivated. But might be a chance to chuck on Tipple, go 2 strikers, something like that. For now, though, we just want to try and get a lifeline because we've not looked like scoring at any point. And West Ham are 2 up at Chelsea, so let's forget about this and just try and get some pride. Lanes is going to be replaced by... who can play on the left? Morcio. And then we're going to bring on Chris Tipple up front for Tyrese Campbell. And we're just going to try and nick a goal here because it's about professional pride. As Mitchell's got to throw on the left to Morcio. He gets to the byline, delivers to the back post. Abdelkadir's up, doesn't get there. Tormena out on the right, back to Tahar. Boyer to Sassores. I'm just sitting here now thinking as Tormena's in on the right to Morcio. He scores a lot of big goals off the bench, Morcio. And he's just provided that again there. One of the first he scored that's not an absolute screamer. But it does give us a chance at least getting a point. Chelsea have got one back through Mason Mount. It couldn't, could it? But we're going to enjoy the fact that we've played with this side this year. And we've got them not just safe, but competing in the top half of the league. And it will increase the transfer budget for whoever the director of football is. It probably won't be Dougie Friedman. I just hope it doesn't cause delays as Sassores finds Tipple out wide towards Abdelkadir, but it's overhit and Dallo will get there first to Onana. And Salai to Konza, out to Ederson. He plays wide to Gerson. A third goal here, and I think you can say the late show is over. As Gerson comes down the right for the second time. Through ball, it's up towards the striker. Grabara gets there first. We're going to go attacking. We're going to encourage the lads. We've got to go all out. We've got to try and get the goal. Here is Eddie Segura at the back to Tomena. I do hope that whatever director of football we have is quite strong in the summer because there are 5 or 6 players here in overloaded positions that haven't touched the ball. As Tipple's in, Chris Tipple has equalised. 89 minutes. 1 goal for us, 1 for Chelsea. This could yet be pandemonium. Going back to the squad, I'm looking at people on the bench like Callum Styles. I'm looking at people now like Bartosz Sliz. Rankin Costello before he came on today. None of them really touching the squad. And we could do with a little bit of a balancing. So we can have a right back instead of 6 midfielders. As Newcastle have nicked it in the 94th. We were chasing the game. And unfortunately, we've been pegged back at the other end. That's the risk when you go attacking. It unfortunately comes back to bite us. But West Ham have won anyway. So it's not to matter. We do lose away at Newcastle. But it would have been a result. We fought back well from 2-0. And if it weren't for us having to chase the game, we would have nicked a good draw. So let's go and see the season review. There's going to be a big summer here. A change of director of football perhaps. Certainly a change to some of the squad. Let's go and see what we'd like and what we think is probably going to happen. Well, there is the Premier League table. 8th place, 3 points off Europe, remarkably. We joined on 1 point after 8 games. And out of the next 30, we've picked up 54 points. If we can keep that ratio up next year, we'll certainly be in 6th or 7th. However, there are going to be problems. We're going to lose a lot of our star players. We're probably going to have disruption from the lack of director of football. And the end of season review is going to show us what we might be missing next year, I think. 25 million into the coffers. The payout is 1.5 to the players, so plenty of profit into the club there. Let's get through the post-match press conference, get to the season review, and hopefully find out what budget our new director of football will have. Or Dougie if he gets a new contract. Here we are then, end of season review time. A season that started in a championship with Bristol City with frustration of losing star strikers and finished with Crystal Palace with frustration of not quite achieving a miracle and knowing that again the star players are probably going to be off by the time we're next back. So let's have a look at how this season panned out. So players that signed this summer were Tyrese Campbell from Newcastle. What a signing he was by whoever brought him in. The January ones were a little bit weirder, but it looks like last summer they did really good work. Sassores, Mitchell, returning of course, Taha, Campbell, Tete were all key for me. So if they can bring in players of that quality, even more Morcio and Sliz, they're good footballers. What I didn't really get was in January, and Ndombele and Castrovilli joined too, and we just ended up with this big overload of centre midfielders. So unless a few are going to go this summer, I'm not sure how that's going to work out. The season results, look, it was a miracle. From where we were, we got the attendances back up, we got the club back up the league, and nowhere near a relegation scrap. Look at that start to the season before we came. We joined up Wolves. They had 1 point from the opening day at West Brom, and that was it. Now, I feel a little bit for the other manager because he'd played Manchester United, Liverpool, Arsenal, Leicester are a decent side, Burnley were a decent side, and Brighton and Watford. They'd not played any of the bottom 4 or 5 teams. But then I guess we came in and made a mockery of that with that ridiculous start of 5 wins. And we've largely been able to pick up results at all points. The only really bad run we had was this middle spell. From Arsenal down to Chelsea, we'd won, 2 games out of about 12. But otherwise, we've been brilliant. The side has overachieved, there's no doubt about that. In the FA Cup, we went out in the 3rd round. I think that would be my aim for next year. Is if we can be a solid mid-table club, but then go on a cup run. Maybe try and win a trophy or something. That's what you get remembered for. Let's look at the financial side, which is going to be key. And most things are up. Obviously, we've finished higher in the league and we've been in the Premier League, which has meant that there's going to be big competition prize money. The sponsorship is up. The corporate, the matchday stuff is up. And the broadcast revenue will be about the same once all the end of season stuff ticks over. I'm a bit worried about the best shirt sales. 2 of them new signings in January who have barely featured, particularly Ndombele, which was a waste of 19 million. Mepham is the star one, but he's wanted and I'm pretty sure will go to a massive club this summer. He's been our star player as well. And then Lanez and Abdul Qadir, we can only hope we keep hold of them because they've been a brilliant front three. And actually, if we look at this squad, the goalkeeper, the centre-halves, Taha, Boyer, the 2 wingers and Campbell, the spine of the team is really good. Tete's 32 now. We're probably going to need another fullback. If no one was coming in, if we lost Teo for big money in the summer, we wouldn't mind a better left back. And centre midfielders we're stacked up on, it's just that they're all as good as each other and not much better. The issue is, the squad is imbalanced, we're going to lose some of those stars. Surely someone comes in for Boyer now. And then what do we do? Or what does the new director of football do? Because it doesn't look like Dougie Freedman's going to get a deal. And based on what we saw in January, that might not be a bad thing. In terms of the awards at the end of the season, Mepham is Fans Player of the Year. Do they have to cash in on him at 30? I don't know. Tahar's Young Player of the Year. Selly and Boyer Goal of the Season. Campbell top scorer and most league goals by a player in a season for the club since this save started. Abdul Qadir with 10 assists, 5 Player of the Match awards. And Chris Mepham, the highest average rating. A wonderful player. Have we got anything about transfer budgets? Let's just skip through these, because I also want to see where they expect us to finish next year. Tormena has become part of the club's history, as has Tyrick Mitchell for the best 11. Mepham's already in there. Styles is there, so must have been here a while. And then Mariki up front is leaving in the summer. Teo at left back fell out the team this year. The season review of Crystal Palace was pretty good. We exceeded expectations in the end. The side of 2021 we're not worried about. The team defending and data hub we'll look at in the future one episode. We are expected to avoid a relegation battle. So, look, if we lose 3 or 4 of the star players in the spine like Boyer and Mepham, that might be difficult. But otherwise, looking at what we've got, avoiding a relegation battle is what? Anywhere in the top half of the bottom half, 11th to 15th? I think that's okay. Let's scroll up for the end of season team meeting. Team leaders, Mariki's leaving, that's going to make it more difficult. There's nothing about transfer budget yet. Can we have a look and see what it is at the moment? It's still the same as this season. It says next year 27.7, but it looks like that is yet to be confirmed. So if we go back to the rest of it, training camp destination, I guess we've got to think big and marketable now. So we're going to go to either the USA or China. I think we'll go to the US. We'll get through the end of season team meeting and say we expect to avoid a relegation battle. And they're all pretty happy with that. We've just got to hope that most of them are here, to be honest. That is the only thing that is important at this stage. If we go and have a look at the staff, just to confirm to you that Dougie Freedman still does not have a new contract. We might be without a director of football at the most crucial stage of the season. And I hope if they don't offer him one, they've got someone lined up already. Otherwise, we're going to be in a very difficult position come July the 1st. And I'll probably end up being quite grumpy come the first day of next season when we're next back for our transfer special. It's going to be a very interesting summer at this football club, and I'm not sure that I'm going to like what we come back to at the start of next season, but hopefully you will. Hopefully you'll come and join me. I don't think we're going to recreate that miracle because a lot of it was the new manager bounce. We also have to factor in that we are likely going to lose some stars and have some disruption due to the director of football situation. If you did enjoy the final episode of the season though, an exciting game, but ultimately disappointment away at Newcastle, please do put a thumbs up on it. Let me know in the comments what you've made of this season, because I've almost found it a little bit too easy to get up the league. I'm not sure it should have happened the way it has. While I'm here and I'm doing the outro, let me go and look at where Bristol City are, because that's something you'll probably want to see. Not in the playoffs. They finished 13th, so near enough where we left them and where we probably expected to finish, to be honest. They were, ironically though, one of the top scorers in the league, so explain that one if you will after our start. Look who the top scorer in the Championship was as well. I've been completely distracted. John Lestrange, 25 goals, officially a wonder kid. That's why we needed to keep him at Bristol City. If you want to stay up to date, subscribe down below and turn that notification bell on. We'll be back for a transfer special in 2 days' time, a big one here at Crystal Palace. Are we going to lose all of these stars that are wanted? Tormena, Boyer, Tipple even now wanted on a transfer, and Mepham as well, who's now away on international duty. Hopefully we'll be able to keep hold of some of them, but I'll see you next time in 2 days to find out. In the meantime, there's transfer deadline day with Hemel Hempstead. You can find that one tomorrow. Yesterday's transfer special is up in the eye above. There's links to the Twitch channel and to the football podcast too. But I'll see you next time for a new season with Crystal Palace, and maybe to meet some new players and director of football. I'll see you there.